Every morning you make a choice, instant or brewed. Most people treat it like a taste contest. But the real problem is this: we've been judging the cup without understanding what it was built for. And without realizing it, we attach a label. Real coffee versus shortcut coffee. But what if that label is wrong? If instant coffee is truly worse, why has it survived for over a century? And why do millions of people still choose it every single day? Because we're not really comparing coffee. We're comparing two different ways of buying time. In the next few minutes, we'll reveal how both are made, what each one sacrifices, and what each one protects, so you can stop arguing about what's better and start choosing what actually fits your life. Hey friends, I'm Frank, and welcome to Secrets of Simple Things. The coffee your life needs. Think about your mornings for a moment. Not the perfect ones we imagine, but the real ones we live through. Some mornings arrive quietly. There's no rush, no one waiting, just enough time to stand still, heat some water, and let the smell of coffee fill the room. Other mornings feel different. Time moves a little faster. The day is already calling. You reach for something warm, something familiar, something that helps you begin. Neither kind of morning is better than the other. They're simply different. And so are the coffees we choose. We don't drink the same coffee every day because life doesn't give us the same kind of day every morning. So before asking which coffee is better, it might be worth pausing to ask a gentler question. What kind of moment was this cup meant to serve? Instant coffee, not a shortcut, a response. To understand why these two coffees exist, we don't need to memorize dates. We only need to understand how people once lived. For centuries, coffee belonged to a slower world. In places like Yemen, long before modern machines, coffee was brewed in simple pots and shared in groups. It wasn't something you grabbed on the way out. It was something you sat down with. Coffee created space for conversation, for ritual, for waiting. The brewing time wasn't a flaw. It was part of the experience. As coffee moved through the Ottoman world and into Europe, that idea stayed the same. Cafes were places to linger, to talk, to pass time together. But the world didn't stay slow. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, life began to compress. Factories ran on schedules. Trains moved faster than people could walk. Wars pushed millions across borders. Time was no longer something to enjoy. It became something to manage. And that's when instant coffee appeared. It didn't begin as a shortcut. It began as a solution. Coffee still needed to start the day, but now it had to travel, to last longer, to work anywhere. That's why instant coffee was created. Not to replace brewed coffee, but to survive a faster world. Coffee that lives twice. Not fake, just paused. After centuries of slow mornings and long conversations, coffee learned how to move faster. But it didn't change all at once. It still began the same way. Beans were roasted, ground, and brewed with hot water, just like any other coffee. For brewed coffee, the journey ends there. The cup is filled, the moment is lived, and then it passes. But for instant coffee, the journey doesn't stop at the cup. That freshly brewed coffee keeps traveling. Instead of being poured and enjoyed, it's gently dried. Its water is removed. Its shape changes, but its identity doesn't. What remains is not raw powder, not a shortcut, not something artificial. It's coffee that has already lived once. And when you add hot water later, at home, at work, or somewhere far from a kitchen, you're not starting from the beginning. You're continuing the journey. That's the quiet difference hiding in plain sight. Brewed coffee exists in a single moment. Instant coffee exists across moments. You're not drinking a shortcut. You're drinking a second version of time. And once you see it that way, the argument changes. Instant coffee and brewed coffee. Not worse, just different. Once you understand the journey coffee has taken, the conversation about flavor begins to feel different. Because flavor isn't a moral score. It isn't a badge of correctness or a sign that one choice is superior to another. Flavor is simply the outcome of a series of decisions made along the way. Freshly brewed coffee is shaped by immediacy. The beans are ground, hot water meets the coffee, and extraction happens in real time. Aromas rise quickly. Oils stay intact. You can often smell the difference the moment the coffee is brewed. That's why brewed coffee tends to feel richer, fuller, and more layered. Depending on the bean and the roast, you might notice fruity notes, soft chocolate tones, or hints of caramel appearing and fading as the cup cools. That depth comes from being present. Nothing is held back. Nothing is paused for later. Instant coffee lives a longer, more complicated life. Along its journey, the coffee is brewed, then dried, then stored, waiting to be brought back again with hot water. During that process, some of the lighter, more fragile aromas gradually quiet down. Not because something went wrong, not because the coffee was poorly made, but because time, storage, and transport ask for something different. As a result, instant coffee is often described as thinner, sometimes slightly bitter, with fewer layers than a freshly brewed cup. Some brands have worked hard to improve this, and certain instant coffees can taste surprisingly good. But even then, the experience is different. For people who approach coffee as a ritual or an art form, those missing layers matter. The act of brewing, the waiting, the aroma filling the room, all of it is part of what they value. But this is where the conversation usually becomes unfair. Because instant coffee wasn't trying to win the same contest. It didn't lose flavor by accident. It traded flavor for something else. For speed, for consistency, for the ability to be used anywhere, at any time. No machine, no filters, no cleanup. Just hot water, a stir, and a familiar taste. That trade makes sense in certain moments. Early work days, long trips, campsites, hotel rooms, or any situation where stopping to brew simply isn't possible. Brewed coffee, on the other hand, asks for time and attention. It needs equipment. It needs space. Sometimes it even needs patience and precision. And when that time is available, the reward can feel worth it. So the difference in flavor isn't a verdict. It's a reflection of what each coffee was designed to protect. One protects depth and immediacy. The other protects access and reliability. And neither choice says anything negative about the person holding the cup. Health. Small differences, big myths. Once flavor is set aside, health is usually the next concern. And again, the answer isn't found in labels, but in understanding what each coffee goes through. Health. The benefits. From a purely coffee perspective, both instant and brewed coffee start with the same beans. That means both deliver the familiar benefits people expect from coffee: antioxidants, improved mental alertness, and, when consumed moderately, a reduced risk of certain long-term diseases. Brewed coffee often retains slightly more of these compounds. Because it's extracted fresh and consumed immediately, more of the natural oils and antioxidants remain intact. Instant coffee, on the other hand, usually contains a bit less caffeine. For some people, that's not a drawback at all. It can mean fewer jitters, less restlessness, and a gentler lift throughout the day. So even at this level, the benefits already reflect different needs. Health, the limitations. The differences become clearer when we look more closely. Instant coffee is typically roasted darker and processed further. During that process, a compound called acrylamide can form. Instant coffee tends to contain slightly more of it. While high levels of acrylamide can be harmful, the amounts found in coffee are widely considered safe. For most people, it's not a practical concern, especially when coffee is enjoyed in moderation. Another point of confusion comes from ingredients. Pure instant coffee, made only from coffee and water, doesn't require preservatives or stabilizers. But instant coffee mixes tell a different story. When sugar, powdered creamers, emulsifiers, or flavorings are added, the health conversation shifts. Now the question isn't about coffee itself, but about regular intake of sugar, fats, and additives. These ingredients are regulated and approved, but over time, moderation becomes important. Brewed coffee avoids this issue entirely, as long as nothing extra is added to the cup. So again, the limitation isn't universal. It depends on the form the coffee takes. Environment. The benefits. Then there's the question of environmental impact. At first glance, brewed coffee seems more natural. Used grounds can be composted. Reusable filters and French presses can reduce waste significantly. When brewed thoughtfully, traditional coffee can fit well into a low-waste routine. Instant coffee, however, carries an unexpected advantage. Because it's dehydrated, it weighs less, travels more efficiently, and often requires less packaging per serving. In large-scale transport, that efficiency can translate into a smaller carbon footprint. Environment. The limitations. But neither option is impact-free. Brewed coffee can become wasteful quickly when paper filters, disposable pods, or single-use capsules are involved. Instant coffee, while efficient in transport, often relies on single-serve packaging that's difficult to recycle. In both cases, the biggest environmental factor isn't the brewing method, it's how the coffee is sourced, packaged, and consumed. Bringing it together. So when it comes to health and the environment, there's no clear verdict, only patterns. Each type of coffee protects certain benefits while accepting certain limitations. And once again, the differences don't point to a winner, they point to intention. When you look at it closely, coffee was never meant to be a competition. Brewed coffee and instant coffee exist for different moments, and understanding that is what allows us to use both more wisely. Drinking coffee smartly means choosing what fits your day, not out of habit, but with awareness. Using what you need, avoiding excess sugar and additives, and enjoying coffee in moderation. It also means being mindful of waste, reusing when possible, composting grounds, and choosing packaging and methods that make sense for your life. In the end, there's no better coffee. There's only better choices. Choices that respect your time, your health, and the world around you. And sometimes, the simplest cup is already enough. Thank you for joining us on Secrets of Simple Things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details. Our team uses publicly available online sources and AI-assisted research tools to create this video. We strive for accuracy, but errors or omissions may still occur. So please view this content for entertainment purposes only and use your own judgment when considering any information presented. Nothing here is intended as professional, legal, medical, financial, or safety advice, nor as encouragement for risky or illegal actions. We do not promote hate, harassment, violence, or misleading information, and we work to comply with YouTube's community guidelines, terms of service, copyright and fair use rules, and all applicable laws. If you believe any part of this video infringes your rights or violates YouTube policy, please contact us.